The cost of living in the 1970s.
The cost of living, 1970. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $3.36. Gas was around 36 cents a gallon, and long drives were common. A brand new house cost roughly $23,000, while average monthly rent was about $108. A loaf of bread cost about 24 cents, and a gallon of milk was around $1.32. A dozen eggs sold for about 61 cents. A new color television cost around $500, and families gathered around it every night. A Ford Mustang started at around $2,700. A movie ticket averaged $1.55. At the grocery store, a week's worth of food for a family often stayed under $30. People listened to vinyl records, watched the moon landing replays on TV, and wrote letters instead of emails.
The cost of living, 1972. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $3.60. Gasoline cost around 36 cents a gallon. A brand new house averaged roughly $27,000. Monthly rent was about $165. A new car typically sold for around $3,400. A gallon of milk cost approximately $1.20. A dozen eggs cost around 59 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $1.70. A colored television could cost between $400 and $600, and many families were beginning to upgrade from black and white sets. Public university tuition averaged about $400 per year. The country was still involved in the Vietnam War, and major political events were beginning to unfold during the election year. At home, most households shared one television, one phone line, and evenings often centered around the nightly news. Comment a year you'd like to see next. The cost of living, 1973. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $3.89. Gasoline cost around 39 cents a gallon. A brand new house averaged roughly $32,000. Monthly rent was about $175. A new car typically sold for around $3,900. A gallon of milk cost about $1.20. A dozen eggs cost about 78 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $1.77. A color television could cost between $400 and $500, and most families gathered around a single screen in the evening. College tuition at a public university averaged about $400 per year. In October of that year, the oil crisis began, and gas stations across the country experienced shortages. Inflation started rising, and prices slowly became less predictable. Still, families took road trips, children played outside until dark, and news traveled at the pace of the evening broadcast. Comment a year you'd like to see next.
This grocery cart cost $25 in 1975. Today, that's closer to $250. A house was $39,000. Now it's over $400,000. Your parents could buy a house on one income. Gas was 57 cents a gallon. People drove just for fun. Today, people drive just to survive. A color TV cost $500, and people thought it was futuristic. No phones, no doom scrolling, just real life. And 1980 gets even crazier.
The cost of living, 1976. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $4.19. Gasoline cost around 59 cents a gallon. A brand new house averaged roughly $43,000. Monthly rent was about $205. A new car typically sold for around $4,200. A gallon of milk cost approximately $1.68. A dozen eggs cost around 87 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $2.13. A color television could cost between $400 and $600, and many families still planned their evenings around what was airing. Public university tuition averaged about $600 per year. It was the year of the American bicentennial, and celebrations took place across the country. Inflation was higher than it had been earlier in the decade, and interest rates continued to rise. Still, neighborhoods were active. Children rode their bikes until sunset, and most households shared a single phone line. Comment a year you'd like to see next. The cost of living, 1979. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $5.25. Gasoline cost around 86 cents a gallon, though prices were rising throughout the year. A brand new house averaged roughly $58,000. Monthly rent was about $280. A new car typically sold for around $5,500. A gallon of milk cost approximately $1.84. A dozen eggs cost around 91 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $2.51. A color television could cost between $500 and $700, and cable service was beginning to expand into more homes. Public university tuition averaged about $700 per year. Most families shared one television, one phone line, and waited for the evening news to learn what was happening beyond their neighborhood. Comment a year you'd like to see next.
The cost of living, 1965. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $2.25. Gas was around 31 cents a gallon, and long drives felt affordable. A brand new house cost roughly $20,000. Today, that wouldn't cover a down payment in most cities. Average average monthly rent was about $110. A brand new car sold for around $2,600, and many families paid in cash. A color television cost about $400, and most households still gathered around a single screen. For many families, this was the center of the home. A loaf of bread cost about 21 cents, and a gallon of milk was around $1.05. A movie ticket was about $1.01, and theaters were a weekly tradition. And the craziest part, a year of college tuition at a public university was around $250. Student debt wasn't a lifelong topic yet. Kids watched Saturday morning cartoons, families ate dinner together every night, and the space race was on everyone's mind. Comment your birth decade. We'll feature one in the next.
The cost of living in the 1980s.
The cost of living, 1980. The average hourly wage was about $6.87. Gas was around $1.25 a gallon. A brand new house cost about $64,000. Today, that wouldn't even cover a kitchen remodel in some cities. Average monthly rent was around $280. A Sony Walkman sold for about $150, and music finally became portable. A color TV with remote control cost around $300. An Atari 2600 game console sold for about $125. A microwave oven cost about $500, and people thought it was futuristic. A brand new car averaged about $7,200. And the craziest part, a movie ticket was only about $2.69. Theaters were the main social media back then. Comment a year you want next.
The cost of living, 1982. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $8.75. Gasoline cost around 91 cents a gallon. A brand new house averaged roughly $82,000. Monthly rent was about $320. A new car typically sold for around $8,200. A gallon of milk cost approximately $1.60. A dozen eggs cost around 97 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $2.94. A color television could cost between $400 and $600, and many families spent evenings watching the same few channels together. Public university tuition averaged about $1,000 per year. Interest rates were high, the economy was in recession, and unemployment had risen across many parts of the country. Still, most homes shared a single phone line, music played from cassette tapes, and news traveled through the evening broadcast. Comment a year you'd like to see next.
1984 was cheap, but most people didn't feel rich. The average hourly wage was about $7.60 an hour. Gas cost around $1.21 a gallon. A brand new house cost about $79,000. That same house is worth over $600,000 today. Rent was about $325 a month. A brand new Macintosh computer cost $2,495. Most people couldn't afford one. A color TV cost around $350. A Nintendo console sold for about $179. Gaming was exploding. A brand new car averaged about $8,500. A microwave cost about $300, and people thought it was futuristic. And a movie ticket was only $3.36. The theater was basically social media in real life. Would you rather live in 1984 or today? Comment a year you want next.
The cost of living, 1987. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $9.25. Gasoline cost around 95 cents a gallon. A brand new house averaged roughly $92,000. Monthly rent was about $395. A new car typically sold for around $9,500. A gallon of milk cost approximately $2.20. A dozen eggs cost around 89 cents. A movie ticket was approximately $3.91. A color television could cost between $300 and $500, and cable television was becoming more common in many homes. Public university tuition averaged about $1,500 per year, much as it had, with most households sharing one phone line, and evenings often spent watching television together. Comment a year you'd like to see next.
The cost of living, 1988. Gas was around 90 cents a gallon, and driving across town barely crossed your mind. A brand new house cost about $89,000. Most people today would call that a down payment. A cordless home phone sold for about $70. A color TV with a remote control was around $120. A Sony Watchman Pocket TV cost about $120, and kids watched cartoons anyway. A Commodore 64 home computer sold for about $290. That machine started a lot of kids' tech careers. A brand new VCR usually cost $200 to $400. A Ford Escort cost about $6,600. And the craziest part, a newspaper was only about 30 cents, but everyone actually read these back then. If you lived through this, What year should we do next?
The cost of living in the 1990s.
Welcome to 1994. Your $50 bill actually meant something at the grocery store. A gallon of milk was $2.30. A loaf of bread, just 75 cents. A Big Mac was $1.90. For $5, you were eating like a king. A box of Gushers was $2.15, and Lunchables was still the ultimate school flex at $1.50. The average hourly wage was $11.30. What was the $1.90 snack you'd bring back today? Comment below.
The cost of living, 1995. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $11. Gas was around $1.09 a gallon, and filling up still felt routine. A brand new house cost roughly $114,000, while average monthly rent was about $550. A Big Mac from McDonald's cost $2.32. A family-sized box of Totino's pizza rolls sold for $3.49, and a pound of ground beef averaged $1.99. A box of Eggo waffles went for $1.89. A Trapper Keeper binder cost around $6. A Super Nintendo Entertainment System sold for about $149, while the original PlayStation launched that year for $2.99. A movie ticket averaged $4.35. At the grocery store, a week's worth of food for a family often stayed under $70. Kids rode bikes until the streetlights came on, rewound VHS tapes before returning them, and dial-up internet was just beginning to enter American homes. Comment your birth decade. We'll feature one in the next.
This was the last day of high school in 1998.
The cost of living, 1999. The average hourly wage in the United States was about $12.50. Gas was around $1.30 a gallon, and most commutes were easy to budget for. A brand new house cost roughly $169,000, while average monthly rent was about $650. A ticket to see a movie in theaters averaged $5.06. A gallon of milk cost about $2.79, and a loaf of bread was around $1.49. A box of Pop-Tarts sold for about $1.99, and they were a common breakfast. A pair of J&CO jeans often cost around $60, and oversized clothes were everywhere. A Nokia 3310 sold for about $150, and text messages were just starting to catch on. At the mall, a new CD album usually cost $15. At the grocery store, a week's worth of food for a family often stayed under $80. Kids used AOL Instant Messenger, talked about Y2K, and waited for the modem to connect. A lot of you asked for this year. Comment another one you want to see.
Why do people keep saying the 90s were the best years? Everyone gives the same answers. Things were cheaper, no phones, life was simpler, but that doesn't really explain it. People still had problems. They still complained. They still wanted more. So what was actually different? Nobody expected an instant reply. Nobody expected constant updates. And then one day, they did. Maybe the 90 seconds weren't better at all. We just weren't always on call yet.
The cost of living in the 2000s.
Why is this game worth waiting up all night?
Because it's the entertainment system of the future. I got here 5 in the evening. That's like,
Been here all night long.
Yep.
So you have number 46. You're guaranteed of getting one today.
Yep. Guaranteed.
Target gaming aisle in the 2000s was amazing.